gone missing. If it's cap, I'm dipping. We ain't talking about a move, then it's flatline finished. When I spaz, I'm grinning. Put a peel off in the Sadies and I pass by spinning. It's perks with this life, but I don't have my skinnage. Took a quick trip and now I'm back home winning. And I see they eyes pop like I snack on spinach. Pull up to the spot, she tryna grab my digits. I'm already 8 shots, a Henny past my limit. Here you go. Hazards with a dash full of tickets. I'ma act like I don't see them. I got bad eye vision. Y'all can't pass my scrimmage. While y'all tripping, it's Aruba. I realized I had to go and flip.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 246 of Psychotic and Iconic. Paul's here along with Nick Theories. What do I normally say after that? Oh, we're in the booth.
We're in the fucking booth.
Yeah, sorry.
We got some shit to talk about.
I was out in the sun all afternoon, bro. I smell like a fucking swimming pool.
We got some shit to talk about. We got a lot to divulge here.
I know. Let's start out with the Bengals here, because star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson is holding out a training camp due to a contract dispute. And their rookie defensive draft pick is practicing at Texas A&M because some verbiage in the contract or something like that. What do you think? What do you think's going on with the Bengals, bro? Because for me, I think Joe Burrow's in hell, and I think he's in for another long season.
Malpractice is the best word to describe the Bengals. The Bengals made a huge mistake not prioritizing Trey Hendrickson. First off, he led the NFL last year in sacks with 17.5. Their unit as a total, without him, they're dead. They stink as it is.
They were dead with him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is on the same defense that derailed them last year, without him, they're even cooked. So even with him, they're cooked. So they're in a boatload of trouble. The problem that I have is they pay T. Higgins 4 years, $115 million when they have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. So did the Bengals need to pay T. Higgins that kind of money, or did they want to prioritize defense? To me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what derailed you last season wasn't offensive; it was defensive. So the problem is that your best defensive player is a free agent. He's trying to get paid, not a free agent, but he's trying to get paid, and he wants an extension. And he's like, "Well, what the fuck? Your defense is ass, and I'll be the piece." So I have a problem with that. I mean, look, Joe Burrow could throw for 41 touchdowns and 9 picks, and it still won't matter. We just saw last year, and now without him, their defense is going to be significantly worse. And without any training camp, is he going to be in shape when he comes back? Like, there's a lot of things going on. Like, to me, I think the Bengals really fucked up. Like, they made a big mistake.
I just, like, for me, you're basically saying, even if, like, Joe Burrow has to replicate what he did last year, and it was a historic season. Like, what are the odds of him having another season like that? Mm-hmm. It's possible, yeah, because Joe Burrow's that great of a quarterback statistically, but it wasn't enough to overcome an all-time bad defense, or not all-time, but you know what I mean, like an atrocious defense. And now your first-round draft pick is also missing, and the owner comes out and says some crazy shit about he doesn't want to pay him if he's in jail. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I get that, but you didn't have to present it like that.
He's just honest. Transparency causes less confusion.
Yeah, it does, but there's a different way to go about that.
Like what? How would you do it?
You could just say, look, I don't know the actual dispute of it. It's just apparently that it's about guaranteed money and if he gets in trouble and stuff like that. But when have you ever heard an owner come out and say something like that? I mean, it's a new era. Maybe you should say something like that. Nah, bro.
Why?
No,
because these players take advantage of it. That's the point.
I get that, but you can't do that. If that's the reason, if the reason that you don't want to pay your first round draft pick is because you don't want to pay him if he goes to jail, and you have an idea that he may end up in jail, then what the fuck did you pick him for in the first place?
I don't get that. That's true. That's what I'm saying. Malpractice by the Bengals. They completely botched the offseason. Completely botched it.
And you're right. Like with Trey Hendrickson, I mean, it's only, again, you have a bad defense where he had 17.5 sacks. How do you expect him to get any better?
You don't.
Where's the improvement? Like now you have a hole on your defensive line that if your defensive line is getting home at a better clip than it was last year, at least at that point, you can kind of negate your back end not being that strong.
But the Bengals' issues last year weren't offensive. Like, that's my point. It's the inability to come up with stops and key turnovers to help the Bengals win the games. That was why they couldn't compete. They were giving up 38 a game. I mean,
their offense fucked them twice.
What are you going to do? Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you didn't need to pay T. Higgins. Like, if Joe Burrow needs 2 wide receiver ones, is he really that good? We don't know. We don't know. How do you know? We haven't seen him operate without star receivers in college and pros.
Yes, you did.
Where?
You saw him operate with just T. Higgins 2 years ago.
Just T. Higgins, but he had a wide receiver one.
And he was fine.
But he had a wide receiver one,
No,
though. I'm just saying.
that.
But why did you need 2 of them? If he was fine with just T. Higgins, easier. I understand that. But it also makes your life easier when you have a defense. Ask Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but just for like I'm saying in terms of how do I say this? Like he was going to bat for his guy.
I understand that.
But here's the thing: if you don't sign T. Higgins, how much can you actually build your defense?
What do you mean? You could have signed Hendrickson back, 100%.
You could sign him with or without T. Higgins. It's them being cheap.
I don't know about that. Why would they be cheap?
That's their whole name. Is the Bengals are a cheap franchise.
They weren't cheap to Burrow. They weren't cheap to Chase. They weren't cheap to Higgins, but they're cheap to a defensive guy, which doesn't make any sense.
But that's what I'm saying is that you signed Burrow. Burrow was telling them, hey, this is who I want on offense.
For sure.
And you go with him. He's your franchise quarterback. He changed your entire franchise. You knew in the 6 games he played his rookie year, he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You went with him and did that. Now, I'm assuming he's going to bat for Trey Hendrickson, but you paid Chase, you paid Burrow, you paid T. Higgins, but now you spent all this money. Now you're being cheap about something about the anchor. You need to do that. That's being cheap.
Right.
If you could spend 175 million, you could spend 190 million. It's basic.
But I don't think he wanted 100 and something million or 190. He wanted
I know. I wasn't. I mean,
probably
those
wanted like TJ Watt numbers, which is crazy.
That's probably what he wanted. Again, you can still afford it. It's just stupid. I mean, again, though, we don't know what the number was.
But my thing is that like, why would you prioritize signing a wide receiver?
It was different times.
You just had Jamar Chase
because T. Higgins got signed last year.
No, he got signed this offseason.
Excuse me. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's like, why wouldn't you prioritize the defensive side when your defense was literally the reason why you didn't make the playoffs?
And that's fair. That doesn't
make any sense.
Was T on the franchise tag last year?
He was. He could have been on the franchise tag this year.
But he also took less than what he wanted.
Did he?
Yeah.
He got 4 years, 115 million.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good number for
him. But he said he wanted it, but he took a discount because he wanted to stay in Cincinnati. He said he got offered more from Carolina. He got offered more from New England.
What, like 30 million a year?
I don't know what it was. Probably. I mean, again, T is, in my opinion, a number one. A lot of people don't believe that, but I believe that T is a number one.
But that's my point, though. Like, it's like you already have Jamar Chase. He quite literally just won the Triple Crown winner, which is the most quiet Triple Crown winner of all time.
Because it's all the other bullshit that's involved with it.
Right. Because they missed the playoffs and yada, yada. But the reason why they missed the playoff, like I said, it wasn't offensive. It was all defensive side. But when you don't sign a guy that just had 17.5 sacks and he led the league on a team that has a terrible defense and was the sole reason as to why they didn't make the playoffs, why wouldn't you prioritize him? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That's malpractice at its finest.
Do you know if by any chance Trey Hendrickson was on the final year of his deal? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I'm not entirely sure. I think he is on his last year, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not the point. The point is that, like, wouldn't you prioritize somebody that needs to get their bread over somebody like T. Higgins that, okay, it's a wide receiver.
He's a luxury. He's
a good wide receiver, but like you could have got somebody else out in the market, right? Like, I don't know, if Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow, then he's a top 5 quarterback. He should have no problem with Jamar Chase and somebody new.
Now, Trey Hendrickson said, I was more than willing to take less to make this work. Atrociously low is what he was offered, according to him.
Okay.
So, but again, I know what you're saying. But again, in Joe Burrow's eyes, I understand what he's saying, dude. You want to have people to throw the ball to.
Absolutely. But you also want to have a defense to compete.
Fair. But I don't know. What if he didn't realize that was going to happen? I mean, if he's not asking for the TJ Watt money, then I don't know. At that point, I can't make any sense of it because Trey Hendrickson is worth near that.
I agree. I mean, he's their defense. He is
especially on that defense. Correct. Yeah. Especially on that defense.
So it's like, I don't know. For me, it's like, I feel like they should have prioritized that early on, maybe even during the season. They should have locked him up, and like, hey, man, like he really wants a new deal. Let's get it done before the season. That way we can kind of evaluate what to do with Higgins. And maybe we can, figure out how we can extend Jamar Chase, because that's what they did in the offseason. So,
he had 19 tackles for a loss, 36 quarterback hits, and he was an all-pro for the first time. So he held up his end of the bargain.
Yeah, he did. And that defense did.
He's 30 years old, and his base salary is $15.8 million. Salary cap hit at 18.6, well below the standards of top edge rushers. Miles and TJ are now making an average of over 40 a year.
I mean, bro, you can honestly argue Trey Hendrickson could have been the defensive player of the year last year.
The problem was that the defense was so bad.
But the defense was so bad.
Correct.
It's like, how do you give it to somebody that their defense is ass?
It's the same reason that Joe Burrow couldn't be in MVP talks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I mean, as weird as that is, I just realized that.
Yeah, of course.
Their offense and their defensive star both could have won awards, but their team success was horrible. So it kind of just was like, all right, it negated
everything.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I don't know. I just felt like the Bengals fucked up this offseason. They have to own that.
But here's to me, it's even worse than last year because now you have your 2-star wide receiver signed. Joe Burrow signed, obviously. You're coming off a season where you almost made the playoffs. And it's like, there's more drama now than there was last year. And not only are you going to miss Hendrickson, you're missing your first-round rookie. And the owner is coming out and saying that. If he's in jail, I don't want to pay him. Like, all right, yeah, I get it, but that's just to me, that's just a fucking wild thing to say. Like,
is that like normalized in their contracts?
What?
Like that language is that normalized in their contracts about jail and then, like, you know?
I mean, I have no fucking idea.
They're
to be honest,
they're excluded from pay if they're in.
I mean, I would assume so. If you were arrested for assault or something like that, domestic violence, like. I'm sure there's a way to get out of it, but again, I just thought it was that's a shitty thing to say, dude.
It is, but it's also like, it's just blunt. Like,
yeah, but you didn't have to go to, I don't know. You didn't hear that about when they signed Joe Burrow. You didn't hear that when they signed Jamar Chase. You didn't hear that when they signed T. Higgins. So it's like, well, why would you just randomly come out and say that? Like, what is it? Again, if you are concerned about his character and something gave you the inkling that he may end up being somebody that was accused or guilty of something like that, what the fuck were you doing drafting him?
I don't know.
I don't get that.
I don't have the answer for that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there was character concerns with, you know, who was somebody coming out that had character concerns? Wasn't it Zeke with the whole thing with the girl where he fucking pulled her shirt up and all that? Zeke got suspended for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, but at that point, it's like, you knew what you were drafting. Jalen Carter. There you go, on the Eagles. The whole thing where somebody died. He was the passenger. He fucking ran away. It's like, okay, but you knew what you were getting. But the Eagles said, like, oh, they thought the Eagles' like camaraderie and shit would keep him in line. And it's like, okay, great. And it worked out. But again, those are concerns. You didn't see Howie Roseman come out and say, oh, yeah, well, you know, we're in a contract dispute, so we don't want to pay him if he's in jail. Like, what?
Well, the guy's 90 too. He don't give a fuck what he's going to say.
That's what I'm saying.
He's just going to be blunt as he can. I mean, when you're 90 years old and you own a football team, you're going to be as blunt as you can.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I'm 90. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know, dude. But my point is if you are a free agent, do you want to go in there and play for somebody like that? I wouldn't. That would give me reserves. If that's the way you're treating a rookie.
Well, I think the rookie should sign a deal.
Yeah, but also your agent, there's things in there to protect you. Like, you never know.
Every other draft pick signed it.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a special contract where it's like, oh yeah, like I don't like this. He's just being picky.
No, because Jerry Jones did it to DeMarcus Lawrence last year. That's why DeMarcus Lawrence left and went to or wait, maybe it wasn't DeMarcus Lawrence. It was somebody that had verbiage in there, and it like there was a way to get out of it. It's the language in the contract.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like to me, it seems like it's foolishness. It is. It's
child's play.
On
you're not focused on the right things entering a big year.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, but I don't know. We have to figure out if that's normalized in their contracts, though.
Keep talking. Let me Google something.
Because I feel like if that wasn't normalized and he was being singled out as to, hey, you know, this isn't your contract. If you go to jail, this is what it is. And nobody else has that, then I got a problem with it. Okay. Because now you're singling somebody out that you drafted. And if you, like you said, if you have character concerns, then why the fuck did you draft me? So that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
No,
I know. I'm with you on that. So like, I just want to know if that was part of the contract, though. Like, is that normalized?
There we go. The Bengals want contract language allowing them to void future guarantees if Stewart were to engage in serious misconduct, like criminal behavior.
Okay, that's pretty much in everybody's contract, though, I think.
Stewart and his camp are pushing back, demanding the same guarantee structure as his predecessors, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mims. No clause that could strip bench guarantees, even under severe disciplinary circumstances.
So they all have the same thing in their contract.
Yeah.
So that's foolishness on his part. I blame the rookie.
What do you mean?
I blame the rookie. If his contract is structurally the same as Jamar
No,
Chase,
it's not. That's what he's saying. His is different. Jamar Chase and them have that.
have what?
Like that weird language where if something happens, they're still going to get paid. It doesn't void all their guarantees.
Right. But they're also established veterans. That's a different type of thing. When you start a new job, you're usually on probation. So does that make sense? Like when you start a new job, you're on probation, bro. Like you don't just get the luxury like Jamar Chase and them have. They're on their second contract. This is his first one. So now we got to figure out is all rookies had this in their deal? That's the question.
Yeah.
If every rookie has this in their deal, then he's being a fool by not signing.
Well, I mean, it also
That means he's worried about his own future because he feels like he's going to get locked up in.
to a lesser degree, however, though, it was like with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, that was different. That was branding.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying it's the same thing. He was the one who pushed back
Sure.
on that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But that was ego and branding. This is just, to me, it feels like Stewart he feels like he might get in trouble or something.
Well, apparently it's
why
not
would
him. He's listening to his agent's advice.
Well, then he needs to fire his agent because why the fuck are you not in training camp, bro? You got drafted, but in the first round and you're not signed.
I feel so
You
bad
didn't
for
sign
Joe
it?
Burrow, bro. I feel so bad for Joe Burrow. Dude.
I don't. He's getting paid fucking 500, 400 million.
That sucks, though, dude. I know, but you're still playing a sport that you want to win in.
I don't feel
And
bad
you're
for
in
him. He's got
fucking-
2 wide receiver ones. What does he feel? I don't feel bad for him. I get it. His the owner looks bad and everything, and I get that.
Bro, if this was your homeboy in this shit, you'd be throwing a fit
I would not be throwing a fit. Why would I?
because this is absolute dysfunction, bro. Just be normal here.
Of course, it's dysfunction. I know
This
it's
is dysfunction. How
I
is
said
it?
that.
How is
I said that.
How
though,
is your
to start
superstar
this.
quarterback supposed to go out there with all this shit going around in camp? You don't have your top fucking rusher, your rookie star that you hope is a star is fucking practicing at Texas A&M. You got a new defensive coordinator coming off of one of the worst defenses that we've seen in recent memory, and this is all floating around. And you're trying to get back on your horse.
Mhm.
It's a disaster,
Bro, you
Disaster.
tied up $300 million in the next 4 years on 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
$300 million, and your quarterback is accounting for what? $400 million. How much cap space do they have? Honestly, they don't.
Well, the cap space doesn't matter for the rookie.
No, it matters for the entire
Hendrickson.
structure of the team. Though.
Yeah, I know that, but he's on a rookie deal, so his is water. That's
But
not.
my thing is, if you want a defense and you want to compete and you
Yeah.
want to do all these things because you're Joe Burrow and you could score points, why the fuck would you not prioritize defense?
Yeah, but my thing is that T. Higgins took less to help them, and then
It doesn't matter.
Trey Hendrickson was going to take less. How does that not matter?
But how much did he take less? If Jamar Chase got $161
Yeah,
and T. Higgins got $115, I think that's fair.
yeah, you think that's
gap-
fair, but
the
that
gap-
doesn't mean anything.
No, but the gap between Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is there. Jamar Chase is probably the best wide receiver in the league.
In Cincinnati, yes. For the Panthers or for the Patriots, no.
Come on, we can say that about everybody.
No, because
Why not?
because it goes by situation.
If Justin Jefferson had Joe Burrow,
Yeah.
we wouldn't even be having this conversation of who's the best wide receiver.
I think, any quarterback with that type of talent. Put
Right.
AJ over there too.
Right. But we
CD.
didn't. But Justin Jefferson was also the best wide receiver with a guy like Sam Darnold and not really and Kirk Cousins. He was still
Yeah.
regarded as, so he didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, but Kirk Cousins threw the ball over the yard.
I just feel like when you're a wide receiver one, you're going to get your numbers at some point or another. I mean,
Yeah.
CD Lamb did it with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So like it's definitely possible they could still be a best wide receiver in the league and not have the quarterback to support it.
No, I know that. But my argument I was saying is that, yeah, Burrow wanted him because it was a luxury. But if T took less and Hendrickson was saying, I'm taking less, I'm saying as an owner, how are you not looking at that and doing what you can to get your guys? Like if Hendrickson's not asking for the $45 million that Watt and because Max Crosby, I think, is getting $35 million.
Because they blew their load, bro. But they blew their load
But
on
he's saying
fucking
that
3 players.
So do you think they don't have the money to pay him at all?
I think they have the money. I think that if they pay him, they know they're fucking screwed. Because once you got those 4 guys locked in for the next four years,
Yeah.
Now, you either got to restructure their contracts, which they might not agree on, but you might have to do that, and they got to free up space.
Yeah, but they would 100% agree to that.
Maybe. I don't know about that.
They would, because because what you do is you turn that money into a signing bonus.
It'd be guaranteed money.
Exactly. So you get that money, and then you can maneuver it. But also, now the pressure's on your scouting department to scout rookies and bring in your rookies. Why do you think the Eagles were able to get rid of Darius Slay and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson?
Right.
Because you hit on Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell to now rise. Now your entire offense, the money's there. Saquon just got another extension.
But that's so rare, though, bro.
No, that's just good scouting.
No, the Eagles, what the Eagles did, how the Eagles hit on their draft picks is extremely rare.
I don't know. Go look at Dallas.
It's extremely
Dallas hits
rare.
on every draft pick. They just blow as an they just blow when they're playing.
Not on every draft pick. They have a lot.
They have the most all pros drafted of like the last decade.
Yeah, but they've had some busts over the years. Everybody has a bust. But what the Eagles did, they were able to get.
I can't name one. I mean, if you want to say
to find two starting cornerbacks that are what they are when Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean is so rare. You're not finding that.
But I know that. But I'm just saying you can do things. You can just figure it out. That's what you're paid to fucking do. You're paid to structure money.
Absolutely. But the problem is they didn't do it properly. They paid 3 guys heavy money, and now it's like, all right, well, what do we do? Because $161 million for a wide receiver is a lot of money. AJ Brown didn't get that.
Again, he took less.
He didn't take less. That was the market at the time.
Oh, paid him early. Excuse me.
They paid him early. That was the market.
But again, that's also mismanagement on the Bengals.
They waited on Chase. They should have signed him last year.
They should have signed T. Higgins.
And they didn't sign T. Higgins. Now they're locked in with 3 players, and they're all offensive. What the fuck are you going to do with the defense?
And that's fair, because the same thing is going to happen to Dallas.
Sure.
Because they didn't pay Micah Parsons, they didn't pay Dak Prescott, and they didn't pay CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb now is paid at the top of the market. Dak Prescott is way overpaid. And Micah, what do you think Micah's going to do?
Right. But the point is that there's no balance.
Correct.
So when you see the Bengals put up 35 points and still lose, well, I don't know. Let's see. Your best defensive player is not getting paid. Your defense sucks as it is, but yet you got 2 star wide receivers and an all-star quarterback, and you're not winning games. Well, what's the formula?
Not to mention, if Chase Brown has another good year or two, he's going to want his money.
But my thing is, why couldn't Joe Burrow operate with less wide receivers, save the money, stack the defense, and win that way? Why can't he do that?
Probably don't think like that.
He should. Josh Allen's done it.
Come on, bro. We're not doing this.
I'm just saying.
Josh Allen did it one year of his career.
I'm saying, what? He did what 1 year?
He carried
the Bills for 5 fucking 6 years.
Didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. How? He had a wide receiver 1.
It's not a Josh Allen discussion. Let's stay on topic.
You brought up Josh Allen, not me.
I'm using him as an example as a parallel, because I'm saying that Josh Allen is not saying, yo, I need a wide receiver 1 and pay him boatload of money. He's trying to balance out the roster. He is.
Josh Allen got paid, brother.
He got paid. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the Bills not signing anyone. They can't sign anyone because of his contract.
No, they can sign somebody. They just haven't done it.
Oh, but again, that's organizational malpractice as well.
That's called absolutely looking at your team and evaluating everything. They need defense, Buffalo. What they do? They got Von Miller. That's what they did. They addressed it.
Nick, he's 90.
I understand that, but they still went out and tried to make him splash for defensive help because they knew their offense wasn't the problem. It was defense.
Okay.
It was their inability to get after the quarterback and allow Patrick Mahomes to sit in the pocket and pick them apart for 4 quarters. It's what they did.
But I'm confused here because the Bengals did the same thing, except the owner doesn't want to pay the rookie, and they're letting Trey Hendrickson walk when Trey Hendrickson said, I don't need to get paid at the top of the market. Just don't disrespect me. So it's the same fucking bite of the apple.
But the thing is that they didn't prioritize it. Buffalo prioritized it in that offseason. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they're structuring their team as to competing next year. If you know the reason why you didn't make the playoffs was because of your defense, why the fuck wouldn't you address it?
I understand that, but what did the Bills do this year to address their defense?
They didn't do anything.
So is that organizational issues?
No, it's just whoever's available. They didn't think it was a fit. That happens. It does. It really does.
But I don't understand that because I don't care what anybody says. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. If they had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they're prioritizing signing them.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
So you can't hold it against them and say absolutely.
But what I would say is, if they had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, I think one of them is walking, and it ain't going to be Chase. I think they would let T. Higgins walk 100%. If they knew
but he signed him in a lesser clip. They were letting him walk for top money.
No, and I understand that. And I get that. I know they signed them for less. But what they had left over doesn't support them structuring the entire team. They blew their load on a wide receiver when they had a Triple Crown winner. That doesn't make any sense. They could have got somebody for cheap, bro. You know that. It's called you're managing money.
I know, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where the conversation's going because I think they have enough money to pay.
This way, let me ask you a question. If Joe Burrow had Trey Hendrickson signed and Jamar Chase signed, and I don't know, say a wide receiver too, who was out there that got signed? Just say I don't know, Amari Cooper, right? Just say I'm just saying Keenan Allen, whatever. One of those guys. Shakir. If they had Shakir and Chase with Trey Hendrickson on defense, are they in a better situation than they are now?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yes.
No.
How?
Because we just said it 10 minutes ago. The defense was god awful last year.
Okay.
They were scoring 35 points a game and couldn't win.
Right.
So I'm looking at it. I'm just like, all right, we got to outscore you. Period.
So you don't think Shakir can score?
Not at the same rate of T. Higgins.
I don't disagree with that, but how much is the drop off? Is what I'm saying.
Massive.
I don't think
if you're telling me T. Higgins is a wide receiver 1, the drop off is massive.
I know, but in that system, he's not operating as the 1. Chase
Correct.
is the 1.
Yeah, but it's at that. But Chase has been banged up.
I don't disagree with
Chase
that.
misses 3 to 4 games a season.
Right. I
with the exception of last.
I get that, but what I'm saying is that now you got Trey Hendrickson on board. You paid Shakir barely nothing compared to what the fuck T. Higgins got. Now you got leftover money. I can go get a D-back. I can go get a safety. I can get a linebacker. I can do all those other things.
Maybe.
They're tied up in 3 players, bro. That's what their whole team. When you look at the Bengals, it's T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. No defense whatsoever.
My thing is I don't understand the teams, to pivot a little bit. I don't understand the teams like the Bills, like the Bengals. And it's like, where is all your money? Like when I'm looking at the Bills situation, I know Josh got paid. Where's all your fucking money? You mean to tell me you can't go out and sign big money players?
Well, they signed Shakir 4 years, $60 million.
But I'm saying impactful, bro.
He's very impactful. He was great for them last year. That's why they signed him. Honestly, I know he's not a household name. I get that. But for the Bill system, no, he was great.
I know that. But then we can't say that he's not operating with nobody.
He's not operating with anybody.
I'm saying with the Ravens too.
But they're utilizing Shakir's skill set. He's not a wide receiver 1 where he's going to take the defense.
Do you think he's a 2?
I think he's a slot receiver. That's what he is.
He operates as a 2.
I don't think so. I don't think he's a 2. I think he's a wide receiver 3, but I think he fits their system for what they need. A third guy, a guy that can move the chains outside of Josh Allen.
Fair.
Because they don't run the ball on 3rd down. If anybody's running the ball, it's Josh Allen on 3rd down. James Cook is off the fucking field. Right Davis comes in on 3rd down.
Odd, but true.
It's true.
No. I need
to me, they have to find a way to move the chains. That's why he's a perfect fit for Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's all.
Yeah,
I don't think he's an elite wide receiver by any means. I think he's good for that system. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. The Bengals are just a disaster.
They're a disaster.
They're tongue tying me because I don't even know what to say.
I'm trying to. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
I'm in the same boat. That's what I said. They're an accident waiting. They're a disaster.
I don't care where you rank Joe Burrow.
Doesn't matter.
You could put him over Josh Allen and Lamar. I think it's foolishness, but I don't give a fuck. He ain't making the playoffs again.
I don't think any of the top guys are with that team.
They're not beating Baltimore. To overcome. They're not beating Baltimore. You're not beating Baltimore with just 2 wide receivers. They have an elite defense in Baltimore. They have corners now.
Well,
they have corners now. They can shut that down. What are you going to have? You're going to Chase Brown? Chase Brown's a good player. But let's be real, man. Like, if you could shut down the wide receivers and keep them at bay, at minimum, they're going to get theirs. But if you know what I mean, if you can keep them at bay, and the Ravens can definitely keep the Bengals under 20 points. The Eagles did it.
Yeah.
Get after the quarterback. They had no offensive line. They got no defense. And you expect me to say the Bengals are a top fucking 10 team? You're out of your mind.
There's no way.
They're not a playoff team. They're not a playoff team. And that's why when we went through the list on the top 32 teams, the Bengals were 14. That's way too high for me.
That's just respect to Burrow.
It's respect to Burrow, and that's fine. And I'm cool with that because Burrow is like that. He's very good.
Yeah, but it's just not there. That ranking was fucked up too, by the way.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, that ranking was corny.
Everybody's falling in love with the Flash shit, man. I get it. I understand it. I do. I get it.
Yeah.
Because they're great. They're great at what they do. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Burrow, they are elite. You have an argument. What they do.
You have the argument to be the best.
They're the best trio in the league.
Yeah,
they are. There's not a better trio in the league. You can maybe argue, the Chiefs situation, but I'm taking the Bengals all day long. Yeah, it's not even a question
because they're better than the Eagles. The only thing that tips the scale for the Eagles is Saquon Barkley. But we're not talking about running backs.
If you're going off running back,
that's what I'm saying. If you're going by trio, that's not even a question. They're the best trio in the league.
Absolutely.
And I don't even think it's particularly close, to be honest.
But I think they have too much money tied up in those 3 positions.
Yeah.
And I think that's really fucking their entire
Oh,
team.
yeah. For sure, it's going to bother them. I want to talk about Cam Newton. Cam Newton used to be my guy.
He still is my guy.
He's not my guy no more.
Why?
Cam Newton doesn't have Jalen Hurts as a top 10 quarterback. I want to hear it.
Well, I want to hear from you. You're the Jalen guy. I have
Jalen
rebuttals.
guy?
I have rebuttals.
I'm not
but go ahead.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a Jalen guy. I'm a Jalen. I'm
No,
a Jalen
you
truther.
are. No, get the fuck out of here. You are a Jalen guy.
Why?
Bro,
Why the truther?
You go on social media saying with one, all things are possible. You're a Jalen guy.
Hold on. Am I lying?
You're a Jalen guy.
Am I lying?
I mean, he made it possible. Yeah, they won a Super Bowl. I got
Made it possible.
Yeah.
He made it possible.
He made it
That
possible.
might be tonight.
Yeah, we could do that.
He
No,
made it possible.
tell me, what do you think about Cam's list?
I think Cam Newton's a hater.
Mm.
I think he's corny. I think he's a fucking loser, to be honest. Cam Newton never had back-to-back winning seasons, so he can't speak on Jalen. He's just not on that level. He can't properly evaluate Jalen because Jalen's so far the fuck ahead of him in terms of quarterback that there's not even words to describe that. Let's go. He had one magic carpet ride MVP year where he went 15-1. He got embarrassed in that Super Bowl. He was 18 of 41, no touchdowns and a pick. His passer rating was 55. He also had 2 fumbles, not to mention he bitched diving for the fumble and then admitted it in the post-game presser after that. Jalen Hurts was holding the MVP trophy. Cam is holding the Super Bowl record for most overthrown passes with 10. His defense had 3 turnovers against a quarterback in Peyton Manning that was washed up with a broken neck and was benched for Brock Osweiler that same year. Jalen Hurts is better than Cam Newton. It's not even a question. Like, Cam Newton couldn't lead a team like Jalen Hurts to save his fucking life. That comment made me so mad, dude. That comment made me so mad because it was so pathetic. It was so fucking pathetic on Cam Newton's part. And I was the biggest Cam Newton lover. That's done. That's done. It's done. I'm sweating now because it got me so heated.
So wait a minute. You think that if Cam Newton in his prime
Yes.
played on the Eagles,
Yes.
you don't think they're winning the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not.
That is
Absolutely accurate. Finish that sentence.
That's actually insanity.
No, it's not. Because you hated Donovan McNabb for what reason besides being a choke artist? What did you hate most about Donovan McNabb?
Through at people's feet.
What does Cam Newton do? Cam Newton is one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks of all time.
But he was a dog when he was running though.
I don't give a fuck.
That was his skill set.
It was. But your skill set also needs to be able to throw the ball.
Cam Newton wasn't a pocket quarterback.
He was a 59% completion percentage.
Yeah, Cam Newton wasn't. He never operated in the pocket like that. He could.
He was a flash guy.
I've seen him dice up some defenses. In that 15-1 season, he was dicing up everybody. But what I'm saying is Cam Newton's style is not pocket. He's not a pocket quarterback. He's a hybrid. He could run, which he was better at running the football than he was passing.
Nick, Cam Newton is a poor Josh Allen. I've made that that comparison before. That Cam Newton, if you watch Josh Allen play football, it looks like Cam Newton. The only difference is Josh actually can throw the ball to somebody in their chest. Now, Josh in the beginning of his career did struggle with accuracy issues, and that was the biggest thing coming out of Wyoming was his accuracy because they said he was raw. Josh Allen fixed that. Josh Allen can operate from the pocket and dice you up. Now, I have said in the past, do I think Josh Allen is on the level of a Joe Burrow from the pocket? I don't, but Joe Burrow is strictly a statue. That's what Joe Burrow does. Yeah, he can move and manipulate the pocket and shit like that. That's different. Josh Allen, when he gets out of the pocket on the run, that's a true dual threat. You're never going to see, I don't want to say never, but watching Josh Allen he's going to go down as one of the most athletically gifted quarterbacks of all time. What Josh Allen does cannot be taught. It's very similar to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz just always got hurt.
Right.
But Carson Wentz had that same style. And I've made those comparisons before, and I'm not comparing them like that. You know that. But I'm just saying, like, Cam Newton was a similar quarterback, similar build to Josh Allen. But with Josh Allen being able to throw the ball, you see what happens. Cam couldn't throw the ball.
I mean, he also didn't have the wide receiver help either.
Look, I know he was throwing the fucking Devin
nobody.
Funches and Ted Ginn, I think it was.
His best receiver was Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen. Yeah, I mean, he was all right.
That's it. That's all they really had, though.
Well, we say that Lamar doesn't get a pass because his best receiver is Mark Andrews. We don't give Lamar no pass for that. So I don't want to hear a pass for Cam Newton. And Lamar Jackson is 10 times the.
But I don't think
player.
anybody gave Cam a pass, though. Like, nobody gave Cam a pass.
No, I don't. But what? No. I'm saying in retrospect to what you were saying. Like, you were saying, like, his best receiver was Greg Olsen.
Yeah, like, he didn't have anybody to operate.
I'm with you on that. But
how do you know?
But that's my argument with Lamar.
So my thing is, but that's why I said, if you put Cam on the Eagles this year, you don't think he would win a Super Bowl?
No, because he can't lead. He's more about himself. And he exposed that on First Take when he said, if he could trade in his MVP for a Super Bowl ring, would you do it? And he said no.
Yeah, I don't.
So that's all I need to know about Cam Newton.
Yeah,
that shows me that statement alone proves to me what I know about Cam Newton.
Okay, now
Cam Newton is not a Super Bowl winning quarterback because he cannot lead a group of men.
Okay, now let's go back to the list, though. Like, we got the Cam shit out the way. I get it. I get you hate Cam. I get it. Now let's discuss his list because he's got number one.
Yep.
Who's number one?
I could bring it up.
I have it. Oh. I thought you would know.
No, I didn't have it.
Okay, number one, he had Josh Allen.
Yep.
I don't disagree.
I think he had. Hold on. I think he had Allen. I think he had Mahomes.
I have it right here.
Oh, go ahead.
And this is where we're going to go through this list.
Yep.
And every time I say a name, you tell me you disagree or agree.
Yep.
Josh Allen.
Agree.
Number one.
Agree.
I agree.
Wait, hold on. Restart. Are you saying agree as Josh Allen's the best quarterback in football, or do you agree with this person being better than Jalen Hurts?
He's the number one quarterback in the NFL right now.
I disagree.
Okay, I agree. So I have Josh Allen. Number two is Lamar Jackson. I agree.
I disagree.
Okay. Number three, Patrick Mahomes. I agree. I do. I agree with this.
I disagree.
Four, Joe Burrow. I agree.
I agree.
Five, Matthew Stafford.
I disagree.
I agree. Okay. So now you disagree with 4 out of 5 names off the top 5. But I think you have them. They're all the same players.
I have the same players, just different order.
Fine. 6, Jared Goff.
Disagree.
I disagree with that too. 7, Jaden Daniels.
Disagree.
I agree in that spot. I like 7 there. That's fine. 8, CJ Stroud.
Disagree.
I'm toss up. 9 is Justin Herbert.
Disagree.
Okay. 10, Baker Mayfield.
I agree because Baker Mayfield, I would say, is 10. I would say he's right around 10.
Okay. So you disagreed on Jaden Daniels, Goff, Stroud, and Herbert pretty wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
Are any of those 4 in your top 10? Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert's not my top 10.
Okay.
Jared Goff is probably in my top 10. CJ Stroud is. Like, I would say my top 10 would be.
What about Jaden Daniels?
Let me do my list.
Yeah, that's cool.
Top 10 quarterbacks, I would have Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Matt Stafford. I got to think.
We got time.
Yeah. Matt Stafford. Then I would probably go. I'd probably go Jaden Daniels. I think he's earned that.
That's
7.
7. That's where I had him.
I said disagree, but yeah. I'm trying to go off the top of my head. After Jaden Daniels, I would probably, I'm between Jared Baker and CJ. I'd probably give the edge to Jared Goff at 8. Or is that's 8?
No, CJ's at 8.
CJ's at 8. Then at 9, I would say Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
And then at number 10, Dak Prescott.
So you don't have Jared Goff in your top 10?
No. I said Jared Goff over CJ.
At 8?
Yeah.
And then where's CJ? You don't have CJ?
I had CJ off because I think I would take Dak Prescott.
So you took CJ off and you took
Justin Herbert
off. Yep. And you replaced him with Jalen Hurts and who? Dak?
And Dak.
Okay. So now let's go through this again. You think Jalen Hurts is a certified top 5 guy, right?
Yes, and I think it's indisputable.
So you think Jared Goff, you think Hurts is better than Goff?
Yes.
In what measure?
In the measure that the Rams traded a quarterback that went to the Super Bowl for a different quarterback that won one playoff game and won the Super Bowl that same year.
Yeah, but we're talking about Matthew Stafford. The talent level was drastic between Goff and Stafford.
I don't think the talent level was that drastic. I disagree on that.
I don't. I think Matthew Stafford's one of the best passers we've seen.
He is, but I mean,
pure passer, he's one of the best.
Yeah, but I go back and forth on Matt Stafford because I was never a Matt Stafford guy.
Yeah,
because I just, again, you had a top 5 wide receiver of all time and it never amounted to anything.
But they were one of the worst
franchises. I get it. So that's what I'm saying. That's why, to me, I juggle with that. But he gained my respect. He went there. He won. Cool. You showed you can do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's where I disagree with you. Why do you have Hurts over Stafford?
He's 0-3 against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts just beat him. Jalen Hurts just won the Super Bowl. I feel like the last few years, like, what has Matt Stafford really done? He's been injured. You know, I mean, I get told all the time that Sean McVay is the most brilliant head coach in the game. He's the most brilliant offensive play caller in the game. You've had Cooper Kupp. You've got Puka Nacua. You had Kyron Williams.
He still was awesome, though.
He was.
It wasn't like he dipped.
He was, but I want to see wins. You have a lot.
He won a Super Bowl in LA.
He did. But I'm saying after the Super Bowl, that was in 2021. It was 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls in that time frame.
No, and I understand that, but like it's also like no, and I get that, but I think the Eagles as a whole were better than the Rams. I don't think the Eagles went to the Super Bowl because of Jalen Hurts. I think he was a part of the product of what the Eagles were.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah,
but I think when Stafford went to the Rams, they knew he was the missing piece, and they won the Super Bowl because he was there.
But you don't think that that's an indictment on Jared Goff?
I do in a weird way, but Jared Goff, I think the Rams misprojected Jared Goff's career. I don't think the Rams thought Jared Goff was this good.
Yeah, we're frozen.
You gotta be kidding me. For real?
Hold on. We're frozen, but they can hear us.
They can hear us?
I'm looking at the subtitles.
What do we do? How did we do this before?
I don't know.
What the fuck? What if I unplugged it and then plugged it back in? God damn it. We were getting our fucking bag, man.
They could hear us.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck! That is so whack, man. Wait.
My mom just said.
Wait, we're back, bro.
All right.
Yeah, we're fucking back. Fuck all that. Fuck all that freezing shit.
Okay.
So let's get back on topic. So let's get back to this again.
They heard everything up to projected. So keep going.
Projected.
You said that they misprojected him.
They misprojected Jared Goff. I don't think the Rams thought that Jared Goff was going to be this good in Detroit. I think they actually shipped him out to go there to die because that's what everybody does in Detroit, right? But Dan Campbell went there. It was a perfect storm. They built him up. Hey, Jared Goff, you're good enough for fucking Detroit. And guess what? He is. Look at his numbers. His numbers are awesome. He's been great in Detroit. I mean, honestly, you could say he was a big reason why they turned it around. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like Jared Goff is damn near fucking good. So I think Jared Goff's a top 10 guy.
Yeah, like I'm with that, but like I don't know, dude. Like I feel like Matt Stafford, he always gets the benefit of the doubt. He won the Super Bowl in 2021, and it's like he hasn't really done much since then. And I feel like he's had a lot to work with.
Right, but we can also say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers, minus his MVPs. Ever since he won that first Super Bowl, he ain't do shit.
Yeah, but he took a hit for it. Somehow Matthew Stafford just keeps ending up in top 5 talks.
No, because the reason why Matthew Stafford is lovable to the media because he was in a shit situation and turned it around, and he became lovable when he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
After that, once you win the bowl once, the trade's complete. You won the trade. Once you win that Super Bowl, you won the trade. It doesn't matter what you do for the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean,
that's how I look at it.
But in defense of my guy, I swear to God, I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm saying this as serious as possible. Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback I've ever seen win a Super Bowl and his reputation get worse.
I don't think his reputation got worse. I don't. I think people are just realistic, bro. Like my thing is that when you have a guy that has weapons galore,
yeah,
right? He's got weapons galore, but he's only throwing 18 touchdowns. It's an indictment. I don't know how you're going to slice the. I understand he won the Super Bowl.
I watched C.J. Stroud do the same thing his rookie season and got praised.
I understand he won the Super Bowl, but the thing is that everybody knows Jalen Hurts didn't win the Super Bowl by himself. That's my thing.
Who did?
Nobody does, but I'm saying that the Eagles team as a whole, bro, they had Kansas City didn't reach half fucking past the 50-yard line until the third quarter. Of course you're going to win the football game, bro.
No, I get that, but it's like, bro, my thing is that
if you gave Josh Allen the Chiefs until the third quarter to reach past the 50, it would be the same result as the Eagles. It would have been a blowout because they could score.
Yes.
That's why.
Yes, and I'm with you on that. But we don't hold it against fucking Tom Brady that his defenses were at top 8 for every Super Bowl that he won.
You want to know why? Because he came up clutch when it mattered most. That's why.
But I don't understand that. Jalen was clutch in his first Super Bowl.
He was.
And then in his second one, like they said, he threw an interception. Like, bro, it was in the second quarter. We were going in to score, and the score was 7-0.
The thing is,
like, we're acting like it was 21-10, and he threw it in the opposite in his territory.
As weird as it sounds, I feel like Jalen Hurts got more credit for losing that Super Bowl than he did for winning this one.
Well, he didn't at first. He did now because the follow-up to it
was the same. He played the same. He played lights out.
The second year.
The second game.
No.
Back-to-back Super Bowls. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that he got credit for, I think he got more credit for his first Super Bowl appearance than he did for his second.
Yes.
The structure, the team, the structures were different.
Yeah.
Saquon wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, Smitty was good. A.J. Brown just got there. So, they weren't really established Eagles yet, even though they were great players. But I feel like he got more credit in that Super Bowl. Why? Because they went toe-to-toe with Mahomes, and nobody did that up until, obviously, outside of Josh Allen. Outside of Josh Allen.
But this is where I get mad, bro, because we didn't have Saquon Barkley in 2023. And I saw this, and I was reading it, and I started laughing. Jalen Hurts in 2023 with the 30th ranked defense. That was worse than Joe Burrow's defense last year. He was 11-6, 4,400 total yards, 38 touchdowns, 15 picks, turnover-worthy plays, 2.3%, 3 fourth-quarter comebacks, 4 game-winning drives, and an 86 Pro Football Focus grade. He put the team on his back. Like, my thing is we will sit here and we will criticize. Like, it's like Jalen Hurts had the 30th ranked defense. He gets to the playoffs, loses to Tampa, and they're like, yo, you fucking suck, dog. You couldn't beat Tampa in that first playoff game. Joe Burrow has the 28th ranked defense, misses the playoffs, and it's like, yo, his defense was just that bad, bro. I don't really know what to tell you. Like, it was the defense's problem. That is the shit that I can't wrap my. It makes I'm not even kidding. It makes me fume.
But why you get so mad? It's an eye test.
But
you know that, and I know that. Slade knew that.
You love numbers.
Eye test. Absolutely, I love numbers.
You sent me a calculator at 8:30 this morning on some nut
I love
shit.
numbers. I love math. Absolutely, the math always maths.
And this math was mathing.
It didn't math because he had 18 touchdowns. He had no business.
I'm talking about
blowing out the
2023.
Chiefs. That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about 2023.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I'm sorry. I was talking about 2023.
Yeah, no, I get that.
This year when he went in there, he meant business, bro. Saquon Barkley was. Everybody said, shut down Saquon Barkley and let Jalen Hurts beat you. Jalen Hurts beats him, and it's like, well, that defense was him.
That defense was awesome, though, bro.
It was, but they told me that if you shut down Saquon, that Jalen Hurts couldn't win.
I know, but what I'm saying is, obviously, the Eagles are the team, were the best team in the league by far.
We said that, though. We said we were going to blow them out.
Right, but when the opposing team doesn't cross the 50 by like 2 minutes into the third quarter, that's the result you're going to get, no matter what.
It's called pause.
That's called an ass whooping by every measure. But the quarterback is not going to get the full credit because when you're looking at that, you're like, damn, that defense really put the fuck on. The defense is going to get more credit than the quarterback. Yeah. Ironically enough, it's what it is.
But my whole theory is like, I don't That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I just look at that shit and it legitimately makes me mad because it's like we're finding every reason. Like Joe Burrow, he's been in the league, 5 years? He missed the playoffs 3 years. Now, granted, he was hurt for one, hurt for the other. I get it, but like you missed the playoffs last year. Jalen Hurts ain't missing the playoffs. He's got a head coach and Nick Sirianni that I keep getting told that Nick Sirianni stinks. He hasn't had the same offensive coordinator, so it's like the only constant is one.
Right, but let me ask you a question: is Jalen Hurts better than Josh Allen?
No.
Okay.
From a pure talent perspective, no.
Why is Josh Allen 0-4 in the playoffs versus the Chiefs?
It could go one of two ways.
Go ahead.
I think Josh Allen has been dealt a bad hand with his defensive performances.
Okay.
The other side of that is you could say that when it comes to the Chiefs, he gets a knot in his throat. He chokes.
I disagree with that, but
this year was a choke job.
I disagree with that too. I think the Bills choked.
But my point is that if the situation was reversed and somebody like Jalen Hurts had that, or Lamar Jackson even had that football to win the game and only gained 20 yards, they would not say it was the Bills. You know that, bro.
I don't know that because here's the thing. The game wasn't over even when they turned the ball over on downs on that last drive. The game wasn't over.
I know, but you got to score. You got to score there.
Absolutely.
You have to score.
But you also had 3 timeouts. You just needed one stop to get the ball back to Josh and let him go.
That's fine.
They were down by 3, right? All they needed was one stop. They couldn't get off the fucking field. They burned all their timeouts, and the Chiefs took a knee to end the game.
But that
is on the defense.
No, because it wouldn't have happened because right before that, Josh could have. Oh, you're saying to go up. You're not saying after Josh.
After Josh did a turnover on downs.
Yes.
It was about 1 minute and 50-something seconds.
Yeah.
The Bills had 3 timeouts. The first time they ran the ball, the Chiefs, they got 1 yard. It was 2nd and 9. The second time they ran the ball, they got 11 yards, first down, game over. That is on the Bills' defense.
If you want my honest opinion, I think you're being disingenuous on that statement.
Why?
Because Josh Allen didn't do his job.
Yeah, but the point is, the reason why the Bills were losing is because they couldn't get key stops when they mattered most.
But they did to get Josh the ball back. Josh got, wait a minute.
No, they didn't. They scored.
I know. Hold on. Josh got the ball back. It's not the defense's job to say, yo, Josh, if you get a turnover on downs, don't worry about it, bro. We got you. That's not the defense. You can't blame the defense for that. If you can blame the defense to 13 seconds, that is fair. This year was not fair.
It was fair. The Bills have answered. When you watch that game, the Bills have answered every time the Chiefs have scored.
Except when it mattered.
But the point is that the Bills can't ever get off the field consistently. That's why they give up 30 points a game when they play the Chiefs. If the Eagles, how many points did the Eagles give up in that Super Bowl? 6?
6.
If the Bills gave up 6 points to the Chiefs, we would not be having a conversation that Patrick Mahomes is better than Josh Allen, and that's a fucking fact. That's facts.
But I think you're arguing 2 different points.
We would not be having the conversation if the Chiefs were scoring very little and the Bills defense was stepping up and Patrick Mahomes wasn't scoring 32 points a game. Everybody in the NFL would say Josh Allen is better than Patrick Mahomes because we've seen it. We know it. I can watch it. So Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. He is. The only reason why Patrick Mahomes is beating him is because he's got a better team around him. He does. Josh Allen
has had all 4 times.
Josh Allen has carried the Bills, bro. Outside of Stephon Diggs, there is not another player on that roster that we can name and say they made an impact.
Nick, he's been a starter for 5 years. He had Stephon Diggs in his prime for 3 of them. So,
and guess what? And Josh Allen carried that team. Him and Diggs together carried that team.
Now we're talking.
I understand that. He had a wide receiver. I get it. But he only had Diggs. That's it. Who was his tight end? Knox? Come on, bro.
He was all right.
He was all right. That's exactly that's what I'm saying. He was okay. Matt Mahomes has got Kelsey. He's got Andy Reid. He had one of the best defenses. They always have a good defense in the Chiefs. You know that. The reason why the Chiefs win is because they could score points and they could stop good offenses like the Bills and keep them under 30 points because the Chiefs can score 30 against the Bills because anybody can score 30 against the Bills. Anybody can. You walk up into Buffalo's trap and put your feet up on their fucking couch and score 30. That's how their defense is operated. They suck. They suck, bro. Like, let's go through that game, like the Kansas City game. Every time they were down, the Bills were down 21-10. And guess what? They roared back and they scored. They were up 22-21. After that, the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. They gave up another touchdown. Now the Bills are down 29-22. The Bills, what do? They come back and score. Curtis Samuel was his wide receiver. And guess what? 29-29 it was a score. Then all of a sudden, the Chiefs kick a field goal, and that was the end of the game.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Josh Allen got the ball.
That was the last scoring play. Josh Allen got the ball, and then he had to go down and kick a field goal.
Can I ask you a question?
But the point is that he's got to be perfect in every situation for him to even have a fucking chance to win.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What statement did you say earlier about Tom Brady when I said that his defenses were ranked 8 or better in all the Super Bowl wins? What'd you say?
He was clutch.
Okay. Why? Because he won all of his Super Bowls on the last drive, driving down the field, because that is where you make your name.
But he's the GOAT.
No, I know that. I'm comparing scenarios. I'm not comparing the players. I'm comparing the scenarios.
Right.
You had a chance to score. You didn't score. Wear it. Wear it. Because again, it just comes down to it. Because the same thing that you are arguing about this year with him, I've argued with Lamar for 3 years. I can make an argument that Shakir is better than any wide receiver that Lamar's even had.
So let me ask you a question. So when Brady lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl against Nick Foles, you think that was Tom Brady's fault?
No, it was Bill Belichick.
They never punted in the entire Super Bowl. Yeah. The only reason why the Eagles got away from that was because of that fumble. That was the biggest play of the game. But again, Brady had to be completely perfect for them to even have a chance. When your defense is giving up 40 points, dog, and I'm throwing for 500 yards and I'm still losing?
Yeah.
Well, the catalyst is the defense.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Well, that's what happens when you bench your best fucking D-back.
Right. That was stupid, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that the reason why the Bills have never got past the Chiefs is because they have to be perfect, bro.
I get that. But again, it's like I don't know. Like, to me, again, it just goes back to the same thing. I'm watching the quarterback that I defend relentlessly do it. So it's like, okay, like, yeah, the Eagles defense was getting torched. Jalen was going bar for bar with them. He was scoring with them. And they had the bullshit holding, and then they scored, and Jalen drove him right down the field, and he scored. And then they lost on a field goal kick. But Jalen, you didn't not score to tie that game.
Right. Why did they lose?
The defense gave it up. But
Exactly.
But Jalen tied the game. Josh Allen could have done that, and he failed.
Bro, he failed by one drive. The Bills had 3 timeouts. The Bills defense had 3 timeouts. All they had to do was get the fuck off the field, and they failed, Mike. Okay. At the end of the day, if your defense can't help you out, you're dead.
But if you're Superman, you got to make that. You got to score.
He is Superman. That's why the Bills were in the AFC Championship game.
You got to make that.
That's why the Bills were there, because he's legitimately Superman.
You make your name in those moments.
And I don't disagree with that, but he's made a name for himself in the league already.
He has, yeah, but like, again,
and why did he make a name for himself without winning? Because when you watch him, you're like, yo, he's it.
He's it, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm not. But again,
But when you watch Jalen Hurts, you're not like, he's it. I'm talking regular season. Just exclude the playoffs. When we had the conversations in the regular season, we always talk about, I'm concerned about the Eagles passing game.
The reason I said
you called me crazy. I was like, I making valid points.
Yeah, but again,
AJ Brown's complaining. He's reading books on the sideline.
Why the fuck? Stop using that.
I'm just saying.
That's so annoying.
But he was frustrated. That's why he did it.
But bro, you were running you had a 2,000-yard rusher. Yeah, AJ Brown wants AJ Brown wants the ball. I get it. And I've said that at times the passing game was meh. But the only thing I've ever criticized Jalen for was turnovers. That was it. As far as that, bro, pick your spots. It's like, oh, he throws the interception in the Super Bowl and he's getting ragged on, but he's not throwing them during the end of the season when he goes on a 14-game win streak the end of the year after games he starts and finishes after the bye week. And it's like, oh, well, he's not throwing enough touchdowns. I'm just like, the goalposts just consistently move because his eye test isn't a flashy, like, holy shit, he's the whole package. But again, Jalen Hurts, I was also told that you can't win a Super Bowl with him. Now it's, well, he's got too many good players. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter. You told me I couldn't win a Super Bowl with him.
But you're telling me you can't win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen.
I never said that.
You did. You said it multiple times.
I said I don't know.
You don't know.
If you can.
Which is crazy because if you know Jalen Hurts can do it, how do you not say that Josh Allen
because
can
again,
do it?
we disagree on this, and then we're going to move on because we're going to fight about this. I watched, in my opinion, in that last playoff game, Josh Allen choked. You had a drive to go down the field and score, and you didn't do it. And to me, that's a fair assessment because when Lamar Jackson's defense was shit in the bed against Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson drove down the field and scored. And I blamed him for that because he was the one who threw the interceptions. So I'm being fair in my critique. I know it's your guy. I know you love him. But I just don't understand. I understand what you're saying in terms of the defense couldn't stop them at all. But by the same token, you had enough ass to put 29 on them. You can go out now, bro. You got to get 3 more points. You got to do that, bro.
I mean, look,
you're a superstar quarterback. You have no Super Bowl appearances or Super Bowl wins. And there are people that argue that you are the best quarterback in football. So in my opinion, if you are Superman like that, when it's time to go, you need to operate under the clutch. Because you're 4-0 against Patrick Mahomes when it doesn't matter. But you're 0-4 against them when it really matters. And in my opinion, when you are that great of a player and a talent, I hold you to a little bit higher of a standard.
All right.
Let's talk about another one of your guys. I'm gonna need another bottle of water, dude, because I can't do this, bro. Like now we got to talk about Phillip Rivers because he retired as a Charger yesterday. Crazy thing, real fast. I didn't know Phillip Rivers never retired.
Me either.
I thought he retired with the Colts.
Me too.
Dead ass serious.
I didn't know that.
When we were talking about that last night, I was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you because Phillip Rivers is your guy, man. What will you remember most about Phillip Rivers, and is he a Hall of Famer?
What I will remember Phillip Rivers as a fierce competitor, a shit talker, and a guy that will do anything for his teammates. The guy played on a torn ACL against the Colts, against the number 1 seed Colts in Peyton's house, beat them. Then he went against the undefeated Patriots at the time. And hey, you know what? They put up a fight against them. They really did. They put up a fight against them. And that's what I'll remember most about Phillip Rivers is his relentlessness, and his ability to rally his troops, bro. Like he was a gamer. Phillip Rivers was a gamer. Now, when we talk about Hall of Fame, he will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he will eventually get in. He will get in. He played 17 seasons, 16 with the Chargers, 1 with the Colts. He's 6th all-time in passing yards and touchdowns with 421 passing touchdowns and 63,440 passing yards. He's number 1 all-time in Chargers history in touchdowns, completions, passing yards, and wins. He led the NFL in passing touchdowns in 2008. He led the NFL in passing yards in 2010. He started all 16 games from 2006 to 2020.
240 straight
240 consecutive starts, the second most all-time behind Brett Favre with 321. He was selected to 8 Pro Bowls in the same conference as Brady, Big Ben, and Peyton. You got to give him that, right? He was the NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 2013. He ended his career with the Colts. And to be honest with you, and fun fact, he was the last quarterback to take the Colts to the playoffs with an 11-5 record. And ever since he left, they were abysmal, right? And so now I have a question for you. After naming all of that, do you think he is a Hall of Famer?
No.
Okay. Why?
Similar to you, he's going to get in.
Yeah.
Because the numbers do support it. And the only reason I even know that is because that night that we were fucking around looking at when we were arguing.
Big Ben and Phillip
Rivers. On this, correct. Big Ben is better. But Phillip Rivers will get in down the line. But like for me, my standards for making the Hall of Fame, like I feel like the standards should be difficult. And I just don't think Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame quarterback, dude. Like I was checking some stuff out last night. Like Phillip Rivers holds the NFL record for most failed game-winning drive opportunities with 82.
Okay.
Like to me, he was consistently good, just not great.
Okay.
He never made a first-team All-Pro, never made a Super Bowl. And I get it. You were in the era with the Big Ben, Peyton, Brady. I get it. But again, to me, if you are that type of player, you got to break through. Just give me one. You at least got to make an appearance, bro. And I've gained a little bit more respect for Rivers in terms of everybody says he was a dog. And the interview with Slay, it was hilarious when he was saying like he doesn't curse when he talks shit. So like I thought that was like one of the oddest things ever.
Yeah,
but he said that he was a dog on the field. He was a big trash talker, which I love. But he has one AFC championship appearance. He has no MVPs. He had, in my opinion, he had one dominant season in 2010. And that was the year that he had the number one offense and the number one defense.
Okay.
Widely regarded as the best team to never make the playoffs. And you were the author of that. So to me, like, I just feel like those are things working against him. However, is that against him as a first ballot Hall of Famer, or is that against him making the Hall of Fame in totality?
First ballot, I think.
So that's the way
the winning. I think the winning negates him for first ballot. If he had a Super Bowl, he's a slam dunk first ballot.
Agreed. Now, we always compare them. I'm just asking, if Donovan has a Super Bowl, is Donovan a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Because here's the thing. I prefer Donovan to Rivers, but I don't think Donovan will get in.
Why?
I just don't, because Donovan Donovan doesn't have enough stats. However,
that's why it's important.
Donovan wasn't playing with a full deck, cuz. Yeah, I get it. His defenses with Jimmy Johnson, they were legit. They were top of the line. You had Dalk, Troy Vincent and shit. I get it. But you were throwing to us. Okay. Like, for real. You were throwing to us.
I got you.
So I give Donovan slack on that. But like I said, I think Donovan's postseason success, I think that holds weight. I think it holds weight because I think he's had more success than Rivers in the postseason. Mm-hmm. Granted, Donovan played in a weaker division and a weaker conference. But like for me with Rivers, bro, it's like you have all these stats: sixth all time.
Yeah, he was awesome.
70,000 passing yards, 420 touchdown passes. You didn't miss a game in 240, and you couldn't make a Super Bowl, and you only made one AFC Championship game. It gets tricky for me with Rivers.
It was a stat conference.
And the other part of it is like the most failed game-winning drives opportunities with 82. Like, I look at that. When I think of Phillip Rivers, I think of a choke artist, and I think of him throwing that dagger interception to lose a game. I just don't think of him as a clutch quarterback where he gets the ball and there's a minute left to go. In my opinion, I'm like, oh, there's no shot. He'll fuck this up, just like Tony Romo.
Okay.
That's exactly how I view him. And I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm dead serious. Like, when that comes to mind, I think of Phillip Rivers as a choke artist.
Okay, so you don't think he's a Hall of Famer now?
In my opinion, no, but I think he's going to get in. The same with Eli Manning.
Okay, so if you don't think he's a Hall of Famer, then why is Warren Moon in the Hall of Fame? Why is Dan Fouts in the Hall of Fame? Why is Dan Marino in the Hall of Fame? Why is Jim Kelly in the Hall of Fame? Why is Fran Tarkenton in the Hall of Fame? They never won Super Bowls.
If I could transport back to like 1970, I could probably answer that question a little bit better. But in present day, I wasn't alive to see them. For Dan Marino, everybody talks about his passing stats, his arm. He is the best arm of all time. If you look at his passing stats in 1980, they're comparable to how the NFL is today. And it was a big running game and all that. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, I don't know, bro. You did all that. You couldn't win a Super Bowl?
But I'm not saying Dan Marino's not a Hall of Famer where he doesn't deserve to be. I'm just saying, if you saying he's a Hall of Famer, then how do you not put stats? And
Phillip Rivers is going to make the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying, for me, like, you have to win. But so here's the thing. Jalen Hurts.
Warren Moon never won, though.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
He has Donovan's stats, and maybe Donovan's probably a little bit better. Maybe.
Now, but here's on the flip side. Go look at Troy Aikman. You thought Jalen Hurts was pedestrian? Go look at Troy Aikman's stats. But Troy Aikman's in the Hall of Fame because he got 3 of them things.
Right.
But we talked about that last week. Like we said, Jalen Hurts, talent for talent. Is he a Hall of Famer? Probably not.
But nobody has Troy Aikman in his top 10 now.
No, and that's fine. But if Jalen Hurts wouldn't be in the top 10 if he won 4 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But like, for me, if Jalen Hurts wins another Super Bowl, he's a Hall of Famer. But I'm just saying, Jalen needs rings to get to the Hall of Fame because statistically he's never going to be that.
Correct.
The same as Troy Aikman, which is why I made that comp early when we were talking about it, a few months ago. So, but Phillip Rivers, he never won the Super Bowl, but Phillip Rivers' saving grace and the nut that he's holding is, oh, go look at my stats.
He was awesome.
Drew Brees. If Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, he's still a Hall of Famer.
No doubt.
I'm saying I'm not saying that to like question.
But the thing is he was one season away from never winning a Super Bowl.
Correct.
That's how you know it's very difficult to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like you can have a great quarterback and not win. That happens.
Yeah, but yeah.
Same with Aaron Rodgers. You take out that 2010, he don't have a fucking Super Bowl.
Aaron Rodgers though is like he's in that weird discussion with choke artists. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has a lot of choke artist games, which is why I was so critical of Aaron. I only really liked Aaron over the past 2 years is where I really started to come around on Aaron. I would say where it's just like, and again, it's nothing like that, but like in a big game, do I trust Aaron Rodgers? No.
But like, yeah, I mean, I'm just making like, to me, Phillip Rivers is a slam dunk Hall of Famer. If you put Warren Moon in the Hall of Fame with 49,000 passing yards, 293 touchdowns, and 233 picks, that's not even close to Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers smokes his ass in every fucking category. And everybody loves Warren Moon. He's respected. He's a Hall of Famer.
But I wonder if at that
point,
I wonder if at that point in time, though, the discussions were being had about Warren Moon the same way that if they were the same as they are now, because I feel like
no, they're not.
Players that are good but not great, they get talked about with grace way down the line. Like Tony Romo. I always shit on Tony Romo because I thought he was weak. I thought he was a choke artist. I thought he couldn't handle the pressure. But when you look back and you look at his highlights and you watch him play, there was a lot of Tony Romo lost his fair share of games. But Tony Romo was a really good quarterback.
He was good.
He was undrafted at Northern Illinois, I think, or Eastern Illinois. Undrafted, came in, took the job, went on a run. Dallas was relevant.
For sure.
So, but again, Tony Romo has more grace now, I believe, amongst people than he did in his prime.
I don't think anybody talks about Tony Romo like that, though. Like, I don't think they're like, oh, yeah, he was a great quarterback. Like, nobody really talks about him. They talk about him as an announcer more than he was a quarterback.
Probably true.
They say, well, why didn't you predict this when you were a quarterback?
Yeah.
Because he's calling out people's plays. And it's like, well, if you knew the plays, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah. You're reading defenses like that. Yeah. What are we doing in the huddle?
That's what I'm saying. So, like, people talk about that when they talk about Romo. But to me, Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's a first ballot because he didn't win a Super Bowl, but he's a slam dunk Hall of Famer.
Would you be shocked if he was first ballot?
No.
You think numbers hold that much weight?
63,000 passing yards, 421 touchdowns.
You know who the 5 quarterbacks are ahead of him?
240 consecutive starts. Man, you're reliable. You're dependable.
I hate that for Eli Manning.
What?
Because Eli Manning got benched by Ben McAdoo and lost his Iron Man.
He did.
That was bullshit.
Yeah.
And wasn't Geno? It was Geno Smith, wasn't
it? Geno was on the Giants?
Yeah. Come on, you know ball.
I didn't know that.
I
was Tyrell Taylor, bro.
Nah.
You sure?
Hold on. Do I not know ball?
Who did Eli Manning get benched for? Geno Smith. You're right. I didn't know Geno was there.
Yeah.
Damn,
I know
it's been a while.
He was wearing number 5, I think.
That's been a while. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was 2017.
That was when Geno was ass.
God dang. That was 8 years ago.
That was when he was Geno.
Yeah. Then he went to Seattle and changed his career.
Good for him. So, yeah. Phillip Rivers will get in. But, all right. Long show. We got off course, of course, because we're just potting all crazy. I had to teach you a little bit about ball.
You can teach me.
It's insane because there are parts of ball that you really know. Like, there's times where I'm like, I confide in you. I'm like, yeah, I need to go talk to him because this dude knows ball. And then there's other times where I'm talking to you and I'm just staring at you and I'm like, yeah, this dude sends me calculators with insane numbers on them.
See, anybody that talks that goes on a tangent and says some shit like this, they know they're fraudulent talking like this.
That's crazy.
This is fraudulent. This is fraudulent talk. Oh, I know my shit.
And that was the most disrespectful thing you could have called me.
Why?
We're better than that. You call me fraudulent?
No, I'm just saying you're calling me out on some bullshit.
No,
You're teaching me. Like, I was fraudulent.
I was trying to help you understand ball a little bit.
Yeah, I understand ball. I know ball is.
You know balls?
I have balls.
Yeah. I'm saying. All right. AFC South preview. Houston Texans over and under 9.5 wins. Indianapolis Colts over under 7.5 wins. Jacksonville Jaguars over and under 7.5 wins. Tennessee Titans over under 5.5 wins.
I got over for the Texans here. I think they're going to be at 10, 11 wins. I think the only thing that concerns me about them is the inability to protect CJ Stroud. I think they have their offensive line is weak as shit. They do, however, though, they have a good defense. So I think that's going to help them. Their schedule's tough. But I think to me, they have continuity with Nico Collins, Stroud, and now the head coach being there for 3 years. Like, to me, like, I think they're going to be there for a while. So I expect them to be over.
I got Texans under here. I think they land right on 9. I got them about 9 and 8. I think their schedule is brutal. I think their division is going to be a little bit better than people think. And they're, like you said, offensive line's a problem. And they lost Diggs, and they don't have Tank Dell. You got Dalton Schultz, and you got Nico Collins. Nico Collins is a dog now, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, he's going to put up numbers. He's going to have stats, this, that, and the third. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to withstand them winning the division.
Okay.
I'll say that. The Colts, I think that's a high number for them. I got under again on them because nobody's going to convince me that a team rolling out Daniel Jones in 2025 after he got paid $40 million and got fucking cut is going to be good like that. And I think that if Daniel Jones beats out Anthony Richardson, I think that's a huge indictment on the Colts organization as a whole, especially drafting him the 5th overall pick. Mm-hmm. You drafted him as a project. You couldn't develop the project. The dude's taking himself out because he's tired. He's not protecting his body when he's getting hits. I don't really know what to tell you, but if your 5th overall pick from 2 years ago gets beat out by Daniel Jones, I think you got a problem. And Daniel Jones is not leading the Colts anywhere.
I don't disagree. I got under here. I don't trust either quarterback in any spot, Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones. I do think Daniel Jones will start the season. I think that is the right call because I think Daniel Jones is better than Anthony Richardson.
I agree with you on that. I do. I think that's a problem.
I do. I think it's a problem too, but I think he's better than Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson will get his shot at some point in the season, but they have decent weapons. They got Michael Pittman, they got Josh Downs, and they got Jonathan Taylor. Like they do have some pieces. Now the problem is the quarterback. I don't trust the quarterback. So to me, I'm going to go under here.
Jacksonville Jaguars over under 7.5 wins.
I got over here. I think they're a very sneaky team that could make some noise if they click offensively. With Trevor, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, with Liam Cohen. I think it could be a really good mix. I just think that I think we're a year ahead too early on the Jags. I think they're going to miss the playoffs, but I think they're going to have potential good makeup for next year. I think that they're going to go in next year with some momentum.
So listen to me when I say this on January 22nd. Duval. Jacksonville Jaguars over 7.5 wins is one of my favorite bets of the season. The Jags are going to win that division. They're going to win 10 or 11 games. I think Liam Cohen is the real deal. I saw what he did with LA. I saw what he did for Baker Mayfield last year, and Baker Mayfield was fucking cooking. Mm-hmm. And if anybody could get the best out of Trevor Lawrence, who has a lot to prove this year, probably under the most pressure of any quarterback in the league, not named Dak Prescott, it's Liam Cohen. I love the Jaguars this year. I think that is the sneakiest team in the entire NFL. And I'm calling that right now on July 22nd before that shit gets out.
Wow. Okay. Damn, dude. So, see, the problem is I feel the same way with Trevor Lawrence. Like, I think to me, it's a make or break year for him.
It's absolutely make or break year.
The problem is, though, his contract doesn't allow it to make him a make or break year, dude. You paid him 5 years, $275, bro.
I did not think about that.
Like,
that's a good point. That's a great point. So, I actually forgot they paid his ass.
So they're locked in. So it's not really a make or break. It's just they got to build continuity in Jacksonville. And I think this year is the building phase, the rebuilding phase. You got a couple of superstar players on the outside. Now you got a new head coach. It's going to take a year or two for these guys to develop some continuity and teamwork.
So here, I fuck with you on that statement. I agree with you. But also, I don't know it necessarily, knowing the way you think, I don't necessarily think that not that you don't believe that, but I feel like in terms of you're in the same mode. It's win now for Trevor, bro. Like, you're not giving him no pass if he doesn't do well this year. He got 2 coaches fired.
No, I don't disagree with that. But what are they going to do with him? He has $200 million guaranteed.
No. But I'm saying, like, if Trevor Lawrence comes out this year and he stinks the way that we've been getting on him, and he stinks.
What do you do with him?
That's my point. Like, are you at that point, no hope?
At that point, if he comes out and he stinks,
he did what he did last year.
You have to move on.
He doesn't resemble what he did 2 years ago when he made the playoffs.
But you got to move on. Here's why. You got a new head coach.
Yep.
You got Brian Thomas Jr., who will be, after this year, he'll be on his third year.
Yep.
You got Travis Hunter, who will be on his second year. You got a young core, dude.
And you got ETN.
Yeah, but I think he's kind of phased out.
For real?
I do. I think
I like ETN.
I think they like their rookie running back a little bit better. I think he's going to be the guy.
They did draft him, so that's a fair take.
I think they like him.
I won't argue. I won't go off. Go back on that.
So I think that they're trying to build continuity in Jacksonville. They're trying to change the culture. But my thing is they want to stick with Lawrence because they believe in him, right? But if he's not getting the job done, and you have great pieces on that offense, and you're just missing a quarterback that can deliver the football on time, accurately. And everything, then yeah, dude, like it's time to move on. Like I'm trying to win football games. Like, yeah, we signed you to 5 years, 275. Yeah, we fucked up. We're going to have to go with somebody else. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how you do that because you just ate up a bunch of the cap for them. 142 fucking guaranteed. That's crazy. That's crazy. You got 200 million in total guarantees. He got 142 million just by signing the fucking contract. Trevor Lawrence, that didn't do shit. He had one playoff win.
In my opinion, that's one of the worst contracts. Well, Deshaun Watson, but that's like an outlier.
Yeah,
I don't even count that. But Trevor Lawrence is probably one of the worst contracts current day.
Deshaun Watson is the reason why Trevor Lawrence got paid like that. The exact reason why.
Deshaun Watson, bro.
He fucked the whole landscape up with the payments. He did.
Oh my God.
He got a guaranteed contract.
Which is crazy though, because Kirk Cousins did. Granted, I think Kirk Cousins got 3 years, 84 million, fully guaranteed. But there's a lot of difference between guaranteeing 84 million and guaranteeing 240 million.
Right. But what do you do with Trevor Lawrence? I don't know. I really don't know.